Alright, thank you for joining me here this evening. The time is currently 6:53 Central, and we currently have a tornado moving through Topeka, Kansas. Alright, this is an incredibly populated area, and unfortunately, again, this is a confirmed damaging tornado on the ground near Topeka right now. It was even more impressive on the velocities a few scans ago. Right around here was likely when we had that tornado drop off to the north of Topeka near Grantville, and it is currently possibly still on the ground near Lake Ridge. So if you're on that tornado warning, you need to be taking cover now. Again, that is a life-threatening situation. Make sure that you are taking cover. We actually just got a new tornado warning for Kiowa and Comanche counties, Oklahoma. That's an extension here for this storm that's not only producing a potential tornado, but also large apple to baseball-sized hail. So again, please be taking shelter immediately. This is obviously, not what we were expecting to see today whenever we went into this with a 5% tornado risk, but here we go, you guys. This is obviously popping off pretty big. There may be a little bit of debris there, but I'm thinking that's actually just contamination from the radar, but, yeah, that's definitely not all debris, or else this would be like a catastrophic tornado, but, it is definitely doing some damage, and again, it went through a very populated area, unfortunately. I will say this was a public confirmed tornado. It's not like a, National Weather Service employee or a weather spotter. It's just public confirmed, so there may have been a chance somebody saw, like, a funnel cloud or even just some scud and thought it was a tornado, but by what it looks like, it definitely could have been a tornado that they saw, okay? So again, we have a confirmed tornado on the ground, according to somebody in the public. And the National Weather Service now has the confirmed tag on this tornado warning. So, again, please be taking cover immediately. A tornado is on the ground near Perry now. Is actually, it looks like the tornado that was on the ground may have lifted, alright? But now we have another area of circulation trying to develop near Lecompton. That's on the edge of the warning box, so we may see a new warning get issued soon ahead of this thing. So we'll have to watch out for that. And again, we've also got our tornado warnings in Oklahoma. Currently, we do have 5 tornado warnings in effect. And again, you should be taking shelter in all of those. I did miss some pretty significant stuff, unfortunately, and wow. Okay. This storm near Overbrook and Carbondale apparently was warned for 80-mile-per-hour winds. These are destructive storms for a warned location. They've mainly moved out of that area now, but man, 80-mile-per-hour winds, huh? That is insane. Let's see this. I want to see this on radar. The velocities don't look like anything crazy, but you can definitely tell there are some very high winds there, and it was enough for the National Weather Service to put the 80-mile-per-hour wind tag on that storm. That's kind of crazy, honestly. I'm going to go and bring up Stream Chat here, so if you do have any questions about your location, make sure to leave those down below. I believe this is the 4th tornado that we've had today up here, so we're not quite in an outbreak yet, but if we get 2 or 3 more, we will be. But luckily, as the daylight heating hours end for these storms, they're going to die out pretty fast. But unfortunately, it's going to be a couple more hours till the sun sets out here. We do actually have a cyclone port in that general vicinity, looking right at the tornado warning storm. That is actually an incredible view. New tornado warning, by the way, now. And yep, it's an extension for that new area of rotation I was talking about. This is down to radar indicated, obviously, because this is a different area of rotation than the original storm was actually warned for. It's kind of complicated. But, again, now areas like Lawrence, Perry, Williamstown, Midland, you guys need to be taking cover. This is on the eastern side of Topeka, Kansas. And again, that's a pretty strong area of circulation there near Perry at the moment. We're definitely going to have to watch that. And again, this supercell has already confirmed produced a tornado closer to Wichita. Or sorry, Topeka, not Wichita. We do have a storm closer to Wichita, though, that is capable of producing a tornado near Floral at the minute. I will say, out of all the tornado warnings that we have right now, it's probably the least impressive, but still seek shelter inside of that warning polygon. It's a very dangerous situation. But actually, you know what? It kind of looks like the rotation it was warned for. It was back here near Kellogg, and then it quickly died out. It's still there, though, but it's very weak. We may even see that tornado warning get removed. But that storm is also producing ping-pong ball-sized hail, so you might as well take shelter. I mean, you are under a tornado warning. That's a very serious situation. Even if the rotation is dying out. Again, I mean, we have a perfect view of this storm here, or storm that originally did produce a tornado near Topeka. We have a perfect view of that from Willow Brook in Missouri, near the Dragon Nation. And, man, the Norman, Oklahoma camp's in a pretty good spot for this, huh? What way is it facing? Southeast. Okay, never mind. Kind of the opposite of what we wanted there. This camp's not really any good anymore. The storms have pretty much moved past it. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Allentown, Pennsylvania. That is for 70-mile-per-hour winds and ping-pong ball-sized hail. If you're in Allentown, you should be getting into shelter. It's a very dangerous storm going through the north side of Allentown. Again, wind-driven hail will be a big threat. So please do be taking that seriously and taking shelter. Again, 70-mile-per-hour winds and ping-pong ball-sized hail are not normal for severe thunderstorm warnings. And by the way, this supercell, for hours, all right? We were talking about this supercell at 3:30, and it was having a mess of polygons, a huge severe supercell. It still is, and we're 3.5 hours later in southwest Texas, and it is still warned for golf ball-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. It keeps going up and down in its intensity, but that is definitely a potent supercell, to say the least. Let's go and get an update here on a rotation near Topeka, and no update yet from the velocities. Again, we have 6 tornado warnings now, and 20 severe thunderstorm warnings, one of them being a destructive one. Actually, if tornado warnings did have the destructive tag for hail, these would be destructive because they are baseball and apple-sized hail, respectively. Well, I did that backwards, but oh my gosh. Okay, this is not good. Williamstown, Kansas, take cover now. That just bumped up so quickly. Okay, you guys have got to get to your safe spot right now. We are very close to a potentially strong tornado touching down. All of a sudden, it went from bad to terrible. That really just kind of shocked me there. Okay, that is an extremely impressive velocity couplet, the most impressive we've seen all day. Again, this is going right for Williamstown, Kansas. Please take shelter now. This is a tornado-warned storm, very close to producing a potentially strong tornado once again. That velocity couplet is not good. Again, most concerning we've seen all day by far. Where those greens meet the yellows there, that is not good. That's your tornadic circulation, and again, potential strong tornado if this were to touch down. And if I had to guess, it is very close. Over the past few scans, I mean, it's kind of just popped up, even like 10 minutes ago, it was just starting to pop up, and now we've got a fully fledged supercell. If there's not a tornado on the ground with it, it's very close to doing one. So please take cover now. Again, this is about to go right through Williamstown, Kansas. Anywhere in this warning box, though, Midland, Lawrence, you guys should be in your safe place. Alright, hopefully this goes off to the north of you, but you don't risk it with something like this. Again, I mean, that just kind of shocked me, guys. That was a huge uptick in that supercell there. Or in the velocity couplet, I should say. Wow. Okay. We did go a few minutes without a radar scan, but still, I mean, that intensified so rapidly. Again, that is going to go right through Williamstown. The heart of Williamstown is about to take a direct hit from this potential tornado. If it's not a tornado, I mean, it is, extremely close as you get, really, to producing a tornado. Look at that velocity couplet. Going into today, I would not have expected to see anything like this. Look at that. This is basically going to parallel Highway 24 here for a little bit. Again, entering Williamstown. Again, this is really bad. Very bad indeed. By the way, a few minutes ago I noticed they did downgrade this to radar indicated again, so the other tornado is no longer on the ground. Kind of already pointed that out, but just wanted to confirm with you guys. Again, this is not good, and that now it looks even worse. Okay, we are very close to a tornado here. No sort of debris signature yet. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning to the south of Lawrence. Again, we are only focused on this tornado warning, though. I mean, that is, again, very impressive rotation there. Right on top of Williamstown at the minute. Again, there's no confirmed tornado yet, but I mean, it is close. If it doesn't already have a tornado, it is very close. And those are the tightest velocities we've seen all day. Hello, Mr. Storm. This is bad. This is real bad. Hopefully, here's what hopefully happens. Alright, I'm not saying this is going to happen. In fact, I don't think it's going to happen. But hopefully, what happens is this dies out as quickly as it intensified. That's kind of what happened with our other tornado. You know, it was very impressive, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's not even any rotation anymore. Hopefully that happens with this. You know, from one radar scan to the next, this is in Kansas, by the way. From one radar scan to the next, you go from barely anything to massive rotation. And then the next radar scan, you know, maybe it's actually taking a bite. Originally I said it got more impressive, but I don't know. Hopefully it dies out as quickly as it spawned, but again, unfortunately I don't think that's realistic. Yeah, stay safe, Mr. Storm. I know you got some severe storms up there today in New York. Yeah, right now that storm heading for your region is actually warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds and ping-pong ball-sized hail, so you have to let me know what you see. That'll be pretty crazy. I don't think it's going to stay to that intensity by the time it reaches you. I don't think there's any way, but you'll probably still get some decent storms out of that at least. Again, there's your velocity couplet right on top of Williamstown, Kansas at the minute. This is a very close to a tornado, if not already a tornado. Alright, I'm not seeing any sort of debris signature yet, so that's good. We'll have to wait for this next velocity scan, but hopefully what I said actually happens and it dies out as quickly as it formed. Because that just looks awful right now. Ooh, I mean, it still looks pretty nasty, but you know what? Like I said, I mean, it's kind of dying out as quick as it spawned, but you know what? That's still a very impressive velocity couplet now east of Williamstown. That could still produce a tornado at any second, so be in your safe spot right now. Again, this is going to kind of ride the, oh, and actually that's now confirmed. Okay, rain wrap tornado on the ground. That was 3 minutes ago. This warning has not been updated to confirmed yet, but we're going to see that any second. This is a confirmed large tornado on the ground east of Williamstown, Kansas. That's an emergency manager confirmed tornado. It's a rain wrap tornado. Again, don't go outside and try to look for this thing. You're not going to see it. Don't wait for the tornado to get to you, alright? It's rain wrapped. It's hard to see exactly where it's at in a situation like this. Just go. Go to shelter now. And now it's up to observed, not PDS, but it is observed. So again, that's a confirmed tornado on the ground, and possibly a large one. By the way, they issued a severe warning ahead of this thing. West side of Kansas City, this is coming in. Tennis ball-sized hail, 70-mile-per-hour winds, and tornado possible. And in fact, this tornado is probably going to come dangerously close to Kansas City. So if you're in, like, western Kansas City, I mean, now is the time to go. Argentine, Muncie, Edwardsville, Roland Park, Lake Quivira. You got, 20 minutes, and then you need to go. This is a massive storm. If any of those threats get upgraded, it'll either be a destructive severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. I believe the emergency alert system will still go off, and I believe the wireless emergency alert on your phone will go off too, even for tennis ball sized hail. So, again, please take shelter whenever this storm does get to you. Tonganoxie, you need to go now. Same thing with Linwood. DeSoto, you've only got a few minutes. Just don't wait for too long. If you're, like, right in the middle of something, you got time. If you're in, like, Kansas City proper, you've got, half an hour. But start wrapping things up and make sure that you are tuning in to some sort of local weather channel, or, just stay here. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be covering this, especially since we have a tornado in this area, and possibly a strong tornado in this area. And again, this is rain wrap, so do not go outside and look for this thing. This is shielded in extremely heavy rain as well. I mean, that is, again, there's no shot you're going to be able to see that tornado, even with a bird's eye view. All right, let's wait for this velocity couplet to update, or the velocities in general to update, I should say. Okay, luckily we don't have a debris signature yet on the correlation coefficient, so there's no, like, major damage, but part of that is probably because there's nothing really out here for it to rip up. It's in a pretty rural spot right now. And it may also take the correlation coefficient a while to update, because we do have to look pretty high up in the atmosphere because of our distance from the radar site, so there may be some debris. There just may not be any that's that high up in the air, so we can't really see it yet. Oh, wow, okay, so that velocity couplet did die out. Again, as quickly as they form, they die, man. Well, I believe that's the 5th tornado of the day. Hopefully it's lifted. You need to stay in your tornado safe spot, though, because that is still a pretty concerning velocity couplet. Again, we may have had a damaging tornado on the ground for a few seconds there. Maybe a few minutes, not a few seconds, but not for very long. That tornado warning was just condensed. I bet if they saw this now, they'd update it to radar indicated, but this just came in, so they didn't see it yet. Okay, so now we gotta focus on some of our other tornado warning cells. And this one near Roosevelt does not look good, so please be taking shelter there. And then also we are pretty concerned about the tornado warning for the backside of this area. I know it's kind of confusing. This was a whole separate tornado. The tornado at the beginning of the stream. The area of rotation that's warned for. This warning is still in effect for the Perry area. Perry, give it a few minutes. In fact, you're good now, Perry. Those warnings will be likely allowed to expire. Where is our 5th tornado warning? Oh, it's 2 down here. Okay. That storm also has a flash flood warning with it now, so stay alive, don't drive, turn around, don't drown. It does include Hobart, to the south of Gotebo. Yeah, wow, indeed. That was a pretty large tornado for a little bit there. And we've had a few like that today. I mean, they're decently strong, but they only stay on the ground for a few minutes, which is good. But unfortunately, they've been in relatively populated areas today. I'd still say the worst one so far, because it went straight through a town, was the Westmoreland one. It's not like it was incredibly strong, but it went right through the downtown area here. So and that radar history went a little bit too far out to see this thing. I mean, yeah, there it was, guys. Again, it wasn't like a massive tornado, but it was decently strong, and it went right through a town. So hopefully we don't see any bad reports out of that. The other ones have mainly been in rural areas today. Unless this one, I guess this was on the ground, likely in Williamstown, so hopefully we don't see any bad reports out of that. Because, I mean, this was a decently strong one, again, for a few moments. The report that we got of it, the first report we actually got, came in while it was weakening out, though, because of how quickly these things weaken out. It's not like the National Weather Service is being slow. It's just these weaken out and spawn up so quickly, man. Wow. I didn't think he was live. That's why I brought up his feed. But he's got an amazing view, but unfortunately I cannot bring that up on stream for too long. By the way, we do have a new tornado warning. For some reason, the sound did not go off, but what the heck? I don't What is this? Was this a mistake or something? New tornado warning now. It's this. Is this a joke? I don't... Like, why? What is this? Was this an accident? Surely. What is that? That is the weirdest tornado warning polygon I've ever seen. And you already have a tornado warning here, so, like, why? Why would you not just update this one? I don't get it. Yeah, I brought that up earlier, Mr. Storm. It's warned for 70-mile-per-hour winds and ping-pong ball-sized hail. I don't get this, though. Maybe they meant to update this one down to radar indicated, but they accidentally just issued a new one. I don't know how that would happen, though. I mean, I'm not an expert, but that just seems kind of weird. Alright, whatever. Kind of in between two radar zones. It's not like we split off into a different National Weather Service zone yet, so I really don't understand that. Alright. Whatever. Okay, so those warnings back here in the Topeka area did expire, so that region is good. It's an all clear for Topeka. It's a little concerning. We got some... Oh, it was much worse earlier. Okay, that's actually not concerning then, because it's dying out. Didn't realize how bad this hook was about 13 minutes ago, mainly because we were focused so hard on our other storm. It was definitely rotating pretty good, though. This one was near Roosevelt. So, we didn't get any reports or any confirmation of that on radar, at least, but that could have been a possible funnel, at least. So, stay in shelter there, and as well as in this one that previously produced the big tornado near Williamstown. Or Williamstown. Williamstown isn't massive, though, so that's good. It's just a few roads. In fact, yeah, it's got, you can see all the streets in this one view. We got Oak Street, Walnut Street, 3rd Street, 2nd Street, Main Street, Railroad Street, and that's it. So, it's not like it hit a massive area, which is good. Alright, this tornado warning has been updated to radar indicated. And I still don't, I don't get this little guy here. It's almost like I'm using it to switch in between radar zones. That's the only reason I'm using this warning box. It'd be funny if that's the reason the National Weather Service put it in there, to be like, hey, look at this radar, guys. Look at the other radar site, not this one. But no, there's no reason for that. They would never do that. That's just silly. I don't get this, though. Honestly. Ooh, got some nasty rotation spinning up back in there again, northeast of Roosevelt. Take cover. Again, you're in a tornado warning. Also notice one of the newer severe thunderstorm warnings we got was a downgrade for the storm here. Still warned for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds moving into the Washington area. It's looking like it is going to miss Mr. Storm. He's out there in Long Island, and this is kind of tracking off to the southeast, so it's not going to, really hit him. And it's probably going to honestly die out by the time it hits him, if it's downgraded this much already from a ping pong ball and 70-mile-per-hour wind maker to a quarter and 60-mile-per-hour wind maker. The storm has a history of producing quarter to half-dollar-sized hail in the Lehigh Valley. The Lehigh Valley. Sorry. Okay, they still haven't removed this tornado warning. That's just going to bug me the whole time now. At this point, they could just remove both the warnings. I guess this storm is rotating a little bit. But, I mean, it's dying out fast, so. And, again, we got our other storm down here in Oklahoma that is currently not only rotating pretty good, but also producing baseball-sized hail. So, you should be taking shelter there in Cooperton and Roosevelt. And as far south as the Cold Springs area. Look at the Dragon Nation cam. Again, we've got a perfect view of that storm that's now produced 2 tornadoes from this cam here. Weather from Minnesota. Minnesota, you're in the severe risk if you're in like southern Minnesota. You got some storms sweeping through the southern portion of the state right now. Not going to be anything crazy though at this point, especially as the daylight heating hours kind of end here. Maybe some thunder boomers down there in southern Minnesota. But especially as you get further north in the state, the severe threat's gone. And kind of just some rain up there, honestly. And maybe even some isolated wintry mix showers as we go into the nighttime hours, possibly up in far northern Minnesota. By the way, I would like to point out, tomorrow we've got another enhanced risk. You know, I'm going to be live here again. My nephew is Freddie McKinney, and my brother is John McKinney, and he sent me over to your channel. That's awesome. Yeah, they both tuned into my stream. That's really cool. Thank you. Tomorrow's enhanced risk is a much smaller one, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if this did get removed. It's a very small and isolated area here across parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, and there's nothing really that makes me think this should even be here. Are you sure? I thought maybe some tornadoes in Minnesota. That may have been the case at one point, but not anymore. That may have been the original forecast, but at this point, if you haven't gotten anything, I mean, you're done. So let's take a look at the NAM and kind of talk about tomorrow's event. It's a very weird spot for the enhanced risk again. I mean, it's not like it's a weird spot, but it's just weird that they issued it in general, because it's not like that area is any more specifically impressive than all the others. By the way, this is what they were predicting for this time frame for today. I mean, the NAM got it almost exactly right. Even got the spot of this Kansas City supercell right. Even all the other tornado warnings, they were painting supercells in those exact spots, and they got it right. So, anyway, let's talk about tomorrow's event. So we can kind of see in the early morning hours of tomorrow, we got some convection popping off in West Kansas. And eventually that does turn into some showers and thunderstorms. The main event, though, is going to be in the overnight hours, right? 7, 8 p.m. We got storms across parts of Oklahoma, all right? We go into the, even like overnight hours. We still got those, and they're going to be pretty impressive, all right? We only have a marginal risk painted for this area right now across Oklahoma for the most part, but they could be in some impressive storms. And really, the NAM isn't painting the enhanced risk area, even getting that much convection. Like I said earlier, I mean, it's just not making a whole lot of sense here. And it's not like it's not like it's a low-level enhanced risk. The enhanced risk tomorrow involves I guess it's just a hatched hail risk, but still, that's a hatched enhanced risk. It's not just like a normal enhanced risk. So they're talking about the potential for very large hail across this small area here. Again, that may get removed. I'm really not sure at the moment. But yeah, and then we even have a marginal risk going into Thursday, and this is a massive one. So there's plenty of room for a slight risk on Thursday, so I'm probably even going to be here live on Thursday. I mean, guys, it's been a marathon lately. The only day I've skipped over, like, the past few weeks of doing multiple live streams per day was yesterday. And the only reason I skipped was because I was sick. By the way, we're down to 1 tornado warning now. Just this one here for the Cooperton area. It is trying to rotate, just not doing a great job. It was more impressive earlier when it was near Roosevelt. At this point, there's kind of a new area we're watching up here north of Roosevelt once again. So if you're in Roosevelt, be in your safe place. There's another round of rotation that could go for your area there. We got quite a bit of inflow there. You can kind of see where the ring kind of takes a notch there. There's not any there randomly. That's your inflow. So we'll have to watch that. Our storm in the Kansas City area has been downgraded to 70 mile per hour winds and golf ball sized hail. That's still pretty dangerous, though, and you should still take shelter on the lowest floor of a building in an interior room. And we may even have some form of rotation trying to start up south of Lawrence, Kansas, that I just noticed. And you've seen how quickly these areas of rotation want to form today. Wow! Looking from the Kansas City radar, this tornado earlier looks even more impressive. Alright, but anyway, maybe that's why they issued the warning over here, to get people to look at this radar site. Anyway, jokes aside, my bad weather jokes aside, again, this is probably going to be our next area that we're concerned about for any real tornadic potential here in Kansas. It's not rotating that much, but you guys, like I said, you've seen how fast these rotations spin up today, and, even just like 2 scans ago, this was nothing. That was only 7 minutes ago, and now we've got a fully fledged velocity couplet there. We may even see this get tornado warned soon. So, Baldwin City, Clearfield, Eudora, Hesper, Vinland. You may have a tornado warning coming in. By the way, the Dragon Nation cam, look at that. Okay, so actually it looks like the velocity couplet has kind of taken a bite there. We'll have to continue to watch that, just kind of monitor it over the next while. Check up on our storms in the northeast for Mr. Storm. And new tornado warning. That's actually all the way up in Iowa, and that's a confirmed tornado. Alright, we've got a confirmed tornado on the ground. Emergency management confirmed. This was to the 9 miles to the northeast of Corydon. So, that would be... I'm confused. Is it this bottom area? Oh, okay. So, it was actually right about here that the tornado was likely confirmed. Take a look if there was a CC drop. Alright, but yeah, kind of out of nowhere now we got a confirmed tornado. Again, this is going to be for parts of Iowa, Promise City, Confidence, Melrose, Millerton. We got quite a few big cities out here. You guys need to be taking shelter. You are under a tornado warning, and a confirmed tornado warning even. If this tornado is still on the ground, it is near Promise City. Dangerously close to Promise City. Take cover now. Oh, hopefully that's not a CC drop. I don't believe it is. I believe that's radar contamination or hail. And yeah, I don't think that's a CC drop. But if it was, that would be big time CC droppage. Anyway, again, this is a confirmed tornado now near Promise City. Or at least it was at one point. Kind of got the warning out late here, considering this was confirmed. It was confirmed 2 minutes ago. So was it actually this area here? It may have been this area that was confirmed, actually. It's 9 miles northeast of Corydon. It was actually this one. Huh. That's weird. This one looks much less impressive. Oh, wow, there is actually a CC drop. If that is what that is. If that is what that is. Okay, we have a potential damaging tornado here. And originally I thought it was down here near Promise City, because that's another big area of rotation. That's probably why they made the warning box so big. It's because there's 2 areas of rotation to really watch here. But yeah, here's your tornado near Millerton. And I mean, that could have been a real debris signature there on the correlation coefficient. We haven't had any, like, crazy debris signatures today. I don't know if we've had any. I don't know if that's one, though, because it's just, like, weirdly shaped. And it's also weirdly shaped relative to all these back here, which is just contamination. And we have another new tornado warning, and it's another confirmed one. Wow. That's all the way down here in Frederick, Oklahoma. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground down here now. We're talking about tornadoes in Iowa and Oklahoma at the same time. And yeah, I mean, that's a pretty concerning area of rotation there. Where was the tornado confirmed at? That is a mess of warnings right there. 4 severe thunderstorm warnings, 1 tornado warning, severe thunderstorm watch. 4 miles southeast of Tipton. And when was that? That was 1 minute ago. Okay. So it is this area right here. So again, this is a confirmed tornado on the ground. Take cover now. And this is going to be heading for Burt, as well as Frederick. You are included in this warning. Take cover. Respect the polygon. So, again, that's another tornado. So, again, we have to look at Oklahoma, Iowa, and even Kansas all at the same time for a potential tornado threat. So, let's check up on our storm in Iowa. Again, there's your actual tornado. Or at least there was reported to be one a while ago. But this area rotation looks more impressive to me, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, here was your tornado northeast of Millerton. If it is still on the ground, it'll be up here. And again, that actually could be a CC drop now. I'm fairly confident that that's what that is at this point. Yeah, that's almost certainly a CC drop. So, a CC drop. So there's debris being lifted up into the atmosphere here northwest of Confidence, Iowa. I have confidence that that's what this is. I'm sorry, I'll stop. So again, we do have a tornado on the ground in Iowa. That's for certain. And there's been multiple emergency management reported it, and then I mean you can see it on radar pretty clearly at this point. This northwest of Burt doesn't look good either. And you need to be taking shelter there. That's another confirmed tornado, actually. And let's go back up to Iowa. We're just going to go back and forth between these two really quickly, because unfortunately we have to look at these two both incredibly closely here. Again, there's your debris being lofted up into the atmosphere by this tornado northwest of Confidence, Iowa. So this tornado is doing damage to structures and lifting the debris from them up thousands of feet into the atmosphere, and that's what you're looking at right there, that little drop. Now it's much less impressive. So hopefully that means the tornado's lifted, but there is still a little bit of debris there, so you should still be in your safe place. And the tornado might still be on the ground. It might just be roping out. Or it just may even be in a cycling phase. We never know. But there's definitely a drop in that. Let's quickly check up on Oklahoma here. Again, those are very tight velocities. It's not surprising that we have a tornado there. And wow, yeah. Okay, that could be the beginning of something. Just gonna say that right now. Very possibly, but again, it's kind of hard to tell with this area because there's so much contamination and so much hail. It's hard to tell what's debris and what's not in a storm like that. And again, we've even got a storm just off to the north of that near Roosevelt that we're concerned about, and you should be taking shelter in. Alright, so there's your tornado report. So that was now 12 minutes ago. Suspected brief tornado near Millerton with damage to outbuildings and power poles. So it wasn't real strong. And it says it was brief, and yeah, I mean, it's definitely lifted at this point. But there you had it. There was your Iowa tornado. I believe we're actually at a tornado outbreak at this point. Surprisingly. That's really surprising. I did not think today would be a tornado outbreak. This might have to be, you know, sometimes how I title them surprise tornado outbreaks. That may have to be what this is. Originally, I just had a severe weather outbreak because I didn't think there was any way it was going to be a tornado outbreak. But there we go, guys. Today overperformed by a heck of a lot. We've even seen a couple of stronger tornadoes. And speaking of which, I mean, this is getting stronger now. We'll be watching for a CC drop right in there. Surprisingly, the velocities are ahead of the other radar features. That usually doesn't happen. Okay, not seeing much. Again, that is a confirmed tornado, though. That is public confirmed. So you should be in your safe place right now there. mean, guys, Oklahoma's gotten hit so hard today. Or not today, I meant over the past few days, actually. So yeah, we are in a tornado outbreak now for sure. We've had 6 or 7, and 6 is the cap, or the bare minimum for a tornado outbreak. Okay. I'm gonna quickly grab a tissue. I'll be right back. Alright, I've returned. So again, if you're just now tuning in, we do have a tornado on the ground east of Tipton, Oklahoma, and wow. I mean, every radar scan, this keeps getting stronger. Every velocity scan here. Talking about gate-to-gate shear, very high here. So, again, you need to be in your tornado safe spots here, and there's your debris signature. So, we now have a large and destructive tornado on the ground. Again, this is doing quite a bit of damage, it looks like. It's a pretty decent debris signature there. And then, again, the velocities just keep getting stronger, man. This is not good. We may even see this get updated to PDS if it continues to strengthen like it has. So, again, you need to be in your tornado safe spot right now in this area. Frederick, Oklahoma, Burt, Oklahoma. Hopefully this tornado misses both those communities, and it looks like it might. But again, you don't want to risk it with a situation like this. And even if it does miss you, you are still getting some large hail up to golf ball size and some damaging winds for sure. So you got to take shelter. Again, this is a big time tornado here. All right. We're going to continue to cover this here. Again, this is not good. New tornado warning. That is an extension for our rotation just to the north of this storm. So there's like, Centerville, Mountain Park. You guys need to be in your tornado safe spot. Centerville, Iowa is the other Centerville we're watching right now. And you know, kind of how I was talking about earlier, just as quickly as this thing strengthened, it looks like it's less intense now. You should still be in your tornado safe spot, obviously, but that is a big dip in that debris signature. If that's even debris there, there's much less. Much less. Storms are getting closer to you. Let's check them out. While we're doing that, quickly, let's check up on Iowa. Again, this area rotation, man. Alright, in fact, that warning just got downgraded to radar indicated. I was just about to say that. But that area rotation is pretty intense on the south side. You should still be in your tornado safe spot there. Yeah, I mean, the storms are getting close. Again, I think they're going to miss you, though. I think they're going to miss you by quite a bit, actually. At least the strongest of them will. I really think you might just get in on, like, some rain and some thunder. Okay, so that's still a decently strong tornado. And what's actually really interesting, I noticed this, It's starting to turn back to the northwest, and I honestly have no clue why. Or has it been traveling northwest the whole time? It has. It's been traveling northwest. This says it's been traveling south, but no, it's been traveling northwest. That is so weird. Just the fact that it's traveling northwest is weird, but also the fact that they said it was heading south is even weirder. Right, so it looks like our tornado is actually lifted at this point, or at the very least, there's no debris out here, so there's nowhere for it. I guess there's really nowhere for it to get debris from, huh? And it's still very impressive velocity-wise. You should still absolutely be in your tornado safe spot. Well, originally I thought it was heading down here, but now we're worried about Tipton. This is going to go dangerously close to the northeast side of Tipton. Please be in your tornado safe spots right now. Hello, Airborne. How's it going? Alright, so again, if you are just now tuning in, I know we got some viewers just now tuning in. We do have a tornado on the ground currently near Tipton, Oklahoma. So you should be taking shelter in Tipton. This is kind of taking an unexpected turn. It was originally heading south, or it wasn't even heading south at all, but that's what the National Weather Service said, because if you look at the actual storm, it really doesn't look like it's moving northwest. It's moving off to the east, but the tornado itself is moving northwest, which is so weird. New tornado warning now. That's all the way up in Iowa, once again. That's an extension here, so now the Centerville area, you need to be taking shelter. Again, that is rotating very impressively. We're not even concerned about the area rotation that originally produced a tornado. That's up by Melrose. You're good. But now we're watching this near Centerville, because this continues to get more intense here. Take cover now. And whatever that is, that hopefully is not a CC drop. I don't believe it is, luckily, but yeah, there's no way that's a CC drop. That looked concerning, though, for a second, for sure. But yeah, that is not a CC drop. Another new tornado warning. Wow. We're back up to 6 now. That's going to be all the way out there in Oklahoma once again. That's an extension here. This storm is now down to radar indicated. And now they finally have the proper tag. It is moving northwest at 10 miles per hour. That's so weird. I don't know if I've ever seen something like that. This has been a weird outbreak, man. First we have weird radar glitches like on the first or second stream, I remember. Then we got tornadoes spinning up, being incredibly strong and then immediately dying. Now we've got National Weather Service issuing incorrect warnings. It's a weird outbreak. We had that tiny warning outside of Topeka. It is weird what is going on right now. This is a very weird outbreak, to say the least. Yeah, we are so close to 1K. Again, you guys, please do click that like and subscribe button if you're new here. I go live for all the severe weather events. There's a lot of YouTubers that go live for the big ones, you know. Oh, we'll go live if there's an enhanced risk of severe weather. I am here almost every time there's any sort of severe weather risk in place. No matter where in the country. So again, I really would appreciate if you guys could like and subscribe. Again, you don't have to, but it does help out a lot. And again, our goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And that is so possible. Or that was our goal at the start of the year, and now we're at the point where we could hit that by the end of next month, for sure. So, I want to thank you guys for all the support lately. It's been crazy. This storm here near Grant City has been upgraded to lime-sized hail and 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds, as well as a possible tornado. So you should be taking shelter once this hits you in Ridgeway and Canesville. This is a very impressive storm right now over the eastern portion of Grant City. And, yeah, I mean, that's Pretty big storm there. May even become tornadic quickly, as that tornado possible tag is on that severe warning, and it just looks pretty impressive in general on radar. By the way, just a absolute another massive polygons here, because we're watching multiple areas of rotation in a similar spot. Okay, this is starting to look a little bit more concerning again. Again, originally it had a big time hook, if I remember correctly. Oh, no, it didn't. Yeah, and EF4 did actually hit Oklahoma. It did have a hook over here, and now the hook's, it's weird. The storm's barely moving. It's basically stationary. Yeah, Oklahoma did have an EF4, and I'm going to be doing an entire video on that, again, a documentary, coming out either today or tomorrow. I just need to edit it, have it all recorded. It's going to be good, guys. That's going to be my biggest tornado outbreak documentary ever. At least in terms of how big the actual event was. So I get to talk about some very interesting and sad stuff. Yeah, the rotation on this storm again is picking up near Roosevelt and Cold Springs. You should be near, and now that's confirmed. Wow. Okay, so this is a weather spotter's confirmed tornado now. So we have another tornado on the ground now. Again, we are far past a tornado outbreak at this point. It's no question. We're definitely there. And this is heading off to the east. Yes, southeast. It's weird, though. It's kind of taking like a curveball direction. Yeah, I hope everybody recovers safely. And now we're dealing with another big Oklahoma event today. Not nearly as big, but still not great, obviously. And again, the main event was actually expected to be up here today. In like Iowa, Missouri. But it's turned out to be Kansas and Oklahoma that are the big targets today. No, John McKinney has commented on your stream before, but do you have permission to use his live stream? No, I definitely don't. Yep, that's not, I don't. That would be awesome if I did. That'd be so cool. And you know what? Honestly, he probably wouldn't even care, but no, I'm definitely not going to do that without his permission. That would be incredibly shady of me, but yeah, he has not given me permission. Getting a ton of rain for the next few days. That sucks. Unless you like rain, I guess. Then that doesn't suck. I know most people don't like rain, though, so. I'm gonna be honest, I enjoy, like, a light sprinkle outside. Sorry. Ugh. I enjoy a light sprinkle outside. I don't know what happened. I started choking. I guess I know what happened then, huh? I don't know why I was choking, though. Got some lightning, it looked like, there in the Burlington, Kansas cam. Let's check that storm out. Yeah, probably was some lightning, actually. And again, our Dragon City cam, or our Dragon Nation cam, it's got a pretty decent view. It had an even better view, but unfortunately, it's not turned to the straight south, I don't believe. Yeah, it's still south-southwest, so not as good as it was anymore. You live in Houston, it also gets really humid. Yeah, that's probably not great. I would not want to live in Southeast Texas simply because of the weather. I mean, you got dew points at 75 degrees. That's just insane. And we're not even in the summer. Like, even on a day where you're not getting rain, you've got a humidity of 95%. It was probably even more intense earlier in the day. I mean, not intense, but muggy and awful. Ooh, got a big-time storm moving through Missouri. Oh, this was the one we were talking about earlier. I thought it was in Iowa, but it's actually in Missouri. So sorry about that. Anyway, our tornado confirmed. Again, I mean, they just lift so fast. This is definitely lifted at this point. Stay in your tornado safe spot, but that's lifted now. This area of rotation down here looks more impressive again. And, I mean, it just takes a few radar scans here. On May 9th, it's going to be 93 degrees. In early May, that is awful. How do you guys survive there in the summer? "93 degrees is like my area's weather in, the summer. Like, what is your guys' weather in the summer? And even like 93 degrees in my area, that's a hot day, especially if it's as humid as it gets down there. That's a hot day, even for the summer for my region. And you're getting that in spring? That's crazy. I honestly feel really bad. That would be terrible. Alright, got a new considerable severe thunderstorm warning for the Cedar Valley area in Kansas. That's for 70-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail. You're going to want to take cover when this storm gets to you. That's like that is a weird polygon shape, man. Triangle? Because it's not a triangle, but wow. And really, the storms aren't even going to dive as far south as the warning box goes. Cedar Valley, you might be okay, honestly. You might not get hit by too many, big-time severe storms. But you are in that considerable severe thunderstorm warning, so you should take that seriously. And at the very least, do be getting indoors, please. Yeah, I feel kind of bad about hearing about that 93-degree thing on May 9th. May 9th in my area, the forecast is 78. I just feel awful. Really humid during spring and summer. It starts getting hot between April 20th and May 15th. Welp, that's unfortunate. Usually between April 20th and May 15th, I mean, that's, the best weather, the best temperature-wise weather you get in my region, anyway. That's where it's, 70s. The only problem in my area about between April 20th and May 15th is obviously the severe weather. Sorry, I'm breathing out of my mouth again. I'm sick. I'm not that sick anymore. And, okay, we have... Oh, wait, no. We already talked about that. I can't even keep track of all the tornadoes at this point. This one's definitely lifted, though. And now this rotation's completely died. I mean, it's ridiculous how quick it spins up, then it dies. It's just insane, guys. So it is to my knowledge at this point that we don't have any confirmed tornadoes right now. Usually August or July, September are the hottest months here. Same. Mainly late July into mid-August. You have allergies right now? Yeah, I think I just have a really bad cold. Yesterday I would say I was actually sick. Now I'm just I'm stuffy. It's not a big deal anymore, but yesterday, I was beat, man. I didn't even go live. I was asleep. I was extremely tired. My throat hurt. I had a massive headache. I couldn't breathe out of my nose, even worse than today. And you've seen me go and grab 100 tissues today, so you can only imagine what I was like yesterday. It's these springtime diseases that pop up. That's another thing that I hate about spring. overall, I don't hate spring, but it's a very polarizing season. I'll say that much. So you either love it or you hate it, I feel like. And for me, there's things I love about it and things I hate about it. So I guess I kind of disagree with what I just said, and I'm neutral on it. Yeah, I really think I had a fever yesterday. I was breaking out in sweats while I was sleeping. And yesterday was the day I had my NWS Storm Spotter class. So I luckily I got better just in time, pretty much. The lows your area is basically the high. The lows in our area is basically the highs in your area. Most likely, it depends on what your lows are, but I mean, right now we're kind of sitting in 70s, 80s, that general type of weather. Our lows are down in the 50s and the 60s. Let's see what the Houston, Texas lows are. I'm curious. Houston, Texas weather. I'm just going to look at weather.com for this, honestly. Your lows are in like the low 70s. Your lows are a little bit lower than our highs, but I mean, it's close. It's really close. Guys, this has been a weird stream. It's looking like these storms are getting close to Mr. Storm out there in Long Island. He is hardcore about it. He'll make a video even if like a shower rolls through his area. And I plan to capture more storm footage for storms in my region, but I feel like I'm not going to do it as much as he does. And that's not like a knock on him or anything. We both have different styles, but your favorite month in terms of weather is January? I mean, January here is the stereotypical, winter weather for sure. All right. Yeah, we're in freezing temps. Not for the highs, usually, but sometimes the highs are in freezing temps for January for us, quite often. It's not like it never happens. It happens several times per January. Our highs are below freezing. Most of the time, I mean, they get into, when I say they're above freezing, it's not like they're super hot or anything. They're high 30s, low 40s, whatever, for most days for our highs in January. Usually just high 30s even. I think one time in February I got lows of 19 degrees. Like, that's crazy. Like, even just this winter, we got down to 0 degrees, I remember, and and our feels like was like negative 30. That's crazy that you can only remember one time that your region got down to 19 degrees. I mean, that was every night in January for us. I mean, not every night, but most nights it got down to around about that temperature. Even into February it did. So, you definitely have more brutal summers than we do, and we definitely have more brutal winters than you do. It's just funny how my favorite month in terms of weather is April in my area, and yours is January. It just goes to show the difference in temperature. What's up? Any warned storms? We do have a tornado warning for a couple of spots, actually. We got a few tornado warnings down here in southwest Oklahoma. Nothing insane at the moment. A few of them are technically observed. They just haven't been updated yet. At this point, there's no tornadoes on the ground. And then we've also got a tornado warning up into southeastern Iowa It is honestly rotating pretty good east of Centerville now. This is like the one supercell that's been consistent for most of the day. The others have just blown up and died. But this one, it's been pretty consistent. Subscribe TYVM to your VM. I don't know what that is, but if you mean you subscribe, then thank you. I mean, the lowest it's ever been was the 2021 Texas deep freeze. I've heard about that. I've heard it was brutal. And the funny thing is that it got down into, I don't even know, but the reason Texas will panic over freezes like that is because it just doesn't happen down there. I know all the stores were out of everything. You know, in winter weather events up here, they're out of toilet paper or whatever, but in Texas, whenever there's a winter weather event like that, they're out of everything. So, I'm sure that was brutal. For a different reason than it actually being cold. Did you see the drill bit from earlier? Amazing structure on it. Got great video. Did some damage though. Is that what that was back in the Kansas tornado? The Westmoreland one? Is that what that was? Because I couldn't decide whether that was shower or debris. Wouldn't surprise me if that was a drill bit. Lowest got to where I was 8 degrees. Yeah, I mean, it's like we get lower than that every winter. It's just crazy, the difference. And it's not even like I live in Alaska or something. It felt like 3 degrees. Yeah, I believe usually once per year we'll get down to like -20 to -30 in the feels like, but that's like, you know, the big deep freeze of the winter for us. But yeah, that happened this year for us. It happened last year, I believe, and even in 2022, I feel like I remember it getting that cold. And when that happens, I mean, it freezes. You know, like, I remember last winter, our door was literally frozen shut, and my mom was going to go somewhere, so she chose, the garage door was just frozen shut, so she chose to go out the gate instead, but the gate was frozen shut, so she ended up not going to where she wanted to go that day. No, I don't live in the north. I don't. Oh, wow. So we now have a report of baseball-sized hail from our tornado-warned storm near Centerville. If you're in Centerville, you're good. The tornadic threat's past you, and in fact, you're probably not going to get much else tonight at this point. At a house in Tahoe, Burr. I feel like I've heard that name. Tahoe. What state is that in? Am I just being dumb? Tahoe, Minnesota. I don't know. I feel like I'm being dumb. I've definitely heard that name before. Unfortunately, there's no good radar coverage in this area in southeast Iowa. And it gets even worse as we continue to travel into, like, northeastern Missouri. So this is not a great spot to view this storm. California Sierra Mountains, gotcha. What's the lowest it's ever been in my area? I don't know. It's definitely been below freezing pretty much every year, at least. Not even just the feel like, but the actual temperature is usually below freezing a few times a year. I don't know the exact lowest it's ever been, but there have been times where it's gone into, you know, the negative teens, I believe. Negative 58 wind chills. Holy cow. I think the lowest my region's ever gotten in terms of the wind chills would be -30s, -40s, at least since I've been here. Okay, that is a very impressive velocity couplet now. I will say we are looking very high up into the atmosphere because of our distance from the radar site, but it's still very impressive. Again, you should be taking shelter here right now. This is heading straight for the Orleans area. And even if there is a debris signature, we're not going to be able to see it because of our distance away from the radar site. Again, it has to look so high up into the atmosphere. And unless it's like a strong, violent tornado, we're not going to be able to see the debris from this far away. So something like that did happen recently in Oklahoma, where we were so far away from the radar site and we could still see it. But that was an EF3 tornado, it was a strong one. So unless we see another strong tornado like that, we're not going to be able to see any sort of CC drop from here, most likely. I'm going to check periodically anyway, but I just don't believe we're going to. And though that is a very concerning rotation there. Into California, it's bunch, it's dry, but it's way better feeling, but it's hot. Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you're going at in California, because California can simultaneously be the warmest spot in the country and the coldest spot in the country at the same time in different parts of the state. Such a scandal that Iowa, of all places, getting shorted on radar. I mean, Iowa, they get hit hard, all right? I feel like, especially in the past few years, Tornado Alley in Iowa has increased significantly. And instead, they're installing radar sites in places like Louisiana, which, actually, to be fair, I get that one. This was a notorious radar hole for a while that I complained about for a long time, so I understand that one. But I almost feel like northeast Missouri, southeast Iowa would have been an even better radar addition, because in the springtime, I feel like they get hit harder than Louisiana. New tornado warning has been issued now. That's going to be... I immediately looked at Oklahoma, because I'm assuming that's where it's at, and yeah, it is. That is the one for Cache, Oklahoma. It's actually a new area rotation up here, but as soon as the warning gets issued, it dies, just because of how quickly they're spawning up and dying in this event. But yeah, we could definitely afford to have a radar site up here, and it really anywhere in this area. This is like a horrible radar hole. One of the worst in the country now that one in Louisiana has been installed. Because again, that one I complained about for such a long time. It was a horrible radar hole, but now it's been fixed. Now the next area they need to do that in is here. This is, especially in like the springtime, this area, it's one of the biggest tornado alleys in the springtime. And like, they need radar coverage. Because, you got the Kansas City radar, the Des Moines radar, the Davenport radar, the Lincoln radar, and the St. Louis radar. But none of them, and even the Omaha radar, Manhattan radar, none of them can get through there. Last year in February, there was an EF3 that hit southeast Houston. Yes, there was. That was just crazy. I thought that was January. I really thought that was January. Was that February? It might have been. Yeah, that was a big one, though. That got a tornado emergency for the Pearland area and Deer Park. That was just a little bit before I got into weather, just a couple months before. But, I was able to catch myself up. And even, before I was really, into this, I've kind of always monitored the weather, but not nearly as much as I do now, obviously, now that this is a thing for my channel. And our storm here in Montana, actually, is producing some grapple hail, which is interesting. A rare type of hail. You're at school and everyone started freaking out, I imagine. I don't think I've ever been at school during a tornado warning, weirdly enough. Somehow the warnings down in Oklahoma still have that one still has the observed tag. That tornado has been lifted for a while now, like at least 15 minutes. At least. And honestly, at this point, there's no specific area of rotation that's impressing me anymore. And I'm not surprised because if you remember earlier, I mentioned the daylight heating hours. That's really a fuel that's driving this tornado outbreak. And now that the sun has set in this area, all right, things are just not gonna be able to pop off like they have been. All right, this whole area here right now, you're getting a ton of convection. Between now and the next hour, I'm guessing at least 3/4 of the alerts will be gone and not replaced. Of course, as soon as I say that, a new severe warning gets issued. But you know what I mean, guys. It's gonna be less and less gradually throughout the nighttime hours. And I think actually what I'm gonna do is kind of end off the live stream here because remember we're gonna be live tomorrow and Thursday. All right, I'm gonna have to chill out for a little bit. New SPC update came out, the 8 o'clock update. They are dropping the enhanced risk for the reason I just mentioned. Look at that slight risk. That's so wonky. Guys, this has been a weird tornado outbreak. So anyway, I do want to thank you all for tuning in. We'll go ahead and read a couple of your guys' stories in chat. I see some of you guys are putting those down below. You're in the northern part of Houston. That's good. So it didn't hit you. Yeah, Houston is very populated. We lived on our horse farm outside of Xenia in 74. Yeah, that was a big day. Yes, Mr. Storm, I can't call. And with that, I think we're going to end off things here. I will see you guys in